Okay, so do you know the book that is called Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita, just raise your hand if you know. Yeah? Okay, so knowing, not knowing. So Bhagavad is the divine, God. And Gita is a song. Song. Bhagavad Gita is the song of the divine song. Yeah? And it's actually it's a book that it's a part of a bigger book, a bigger epos of the Indian tradition. And in this plot, what's happened is that there is a war. There is a war coming up between families that are very much related. Yeah? And it's an inevitable war. It's inevitable. We cannot stop it. It has to be the war. Yeah, they tried everything. They tried to have some negotiation. They tried to have some peace. Couldn't work it. There is one person. He is the villain in the story. His name is Duryodhana. Duryodhana. He's the villain. He's like he cannot settle. He cannot compromise. He always like doing actions that really triggers everyone. Yeah. It says that in the day that he was born, many ravens were shouting all over. It was really dark day. Yeah. And then there on the other side there are 5 brothers. One of them in the head of the army is Arjuna. Arjuna. So we have Arjuna and Duryodhana. But it's not that clear that like we have 2 sides, because there are many people that are family related to Arjuna and to his brothers that are in Duryodhana's side. The teacher, the beloved teacher of Arjuna, the one who taught him how to fight, is in the Duryodhana side. So it's like kind of a civil war, but it's also a world war as well, because like it's like the forces of evil and the forces of good are coming together and having a war. And Arjuna have a friend, and the friend name is Krishna. Have you ever heard this name? Krishna. Arjuna doesn't know that Krishna is the God yet. Later on in the Gita, later on in the book, Arjuna will reveal, Krishna will expose his form, his divine form. But in this point of the Gita, Krishna is a friend, special friend. And he is the Charioteer, the one who drives the chariot, and he helps Arjuna. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like we can get into it even deeper sometime. That the Charioteer, the one who drives, is the one who actually lead the way and show the things. Even though it's like a hierarchically less, is like a person that is below. Actually, it's like he knows more. Also, the same goes with the story of the Buddha. When the Buddha is going out of the temple, for the first time he's going out of the palace, and the driver is kind of showing him the truth about the sick person and the dead person and the old person. And it's like as if Buddha never saw it before. So it's like the driver have a special role. Anyway, Arjuna is asking Krishna to go in between the armies. And it's like if we go in Sanskrit, it's to the Madhya point, to the Madhya, to the center, to the middle, yeah, to the middle, in between the armies, in between his army and the enemy's army. It's quite a weird request. It's like the war almost starting, and Arjuna is asking, "Hey, take me to the middle, in between the armies." So much. It's like it's really, there are so many hints, so many clues here in the text that we can see, like the middle way. Yeah, we can see things that you cannot see from one side. When you are in the middle, you can see like much broader vision of reality. You can see the truth much better. And it's the most difficult place to be in, the middle. We'll speak about that in a few moments as well. Anyway, he goes there and he's getting a panic attack. He's realizing, oh my God, this is going to happen. This is really going to happen. We are going to have a war. And he knows, because he have a knowledge from his friends and from other gods, that this war will destroy the world. It will not have a good consequences. But he can't believe that it's happening. He's having like really, all of his body starts trembling and shaking, and he doesn't know what to do. He's like becoming very helpless. And he's saying to Krishna, hey, it's like it's beautiful. This is the first chapter of the Gita. The first chapter of the Gita, Arjuna is just expressing, he's like, what's the point? What's the point now to have a war? This is my family, this is my family, this is my beloved ones, these are beloved ones. I don't want to have this fight. I don't want to fight with my teacher. I don't want the whole world to be destroyed. And he's saying, I'm not going to fight. We have to understand this is a very extreme thing, because Arjuna is a warrior. So in India there is like this caste system, and Arjuna belongs to the caste of the warriors. So this is his dharma. Dharma is the role in life. The dharma is to actually fight, to actually do this. So it's not like it's like a simple thing that he's like afraid, or it's like he doesn't want to get killed himself or something like that. It's much bigger conflict that he's having. What to do now? What's going on? What is this for? He have a spiritual crisis. It's like we can ask, what is this life for? Yeah? It's like something that Albert Camus is asking as well. Yeah? It's like the only worthy question. You know Albert Camus? Like the existentialist philosopher? He's asking the only worth question, the one question that we need to ask ourselves is why not to commit suicide? Yeah? Why are we living? Why are we here? What are we doing here? This is what Arjuna is having. It's like he's having a mental crisis, a spiritual crisis, when he's saying, what's the point of all of this? Yeah? And it's really weird, like why is the Gita starting with this kind of thing? So it's like, then what's happened next, just to fill you in, what happened next, Arjuna is expressing himself to Krishna, and Krishna is convincing him to fight. For the next 18 chapters of the Gita, which is the whole Gita, Krishna, in a very manipulative way, spiritual manipulative way, convincing Arjuna to fight. And at the end of the Gita, the war begins, and it actually happens that the whole world is destroying. Very bad consequences for everyone. Yeah? And this is the most spiritual book that is giving us yoga, like presenting the path of yoga. Yeah? How can it be? It's like we can really ask, it's a really good question. Why the Gita start with a war? Why the most spiritual book, the book that really shows the path of yoga, the spiritual path, start with a war? And there are many beautiful interpretations for that. And one of them is saying, let's not take that as an external thing. This is like, in spiritual books, we don't want to read literally. Yeah? Many times we just don't want to read literally, because literally is like, it's not interesting. Also same like for the Bible, for example. Yeah? The Bible is like, if we take it literally, it's about Adam and Eve is like two men and a woman in a bathing suit in Africa, you know? Not that interesting. It's like the Bible is not history. Right? It's like we can actually have like a deeper meaning that is relevant to us today. It's called the interpretation of radical truth. Radical truth in the Middle Ages philosophy means that the truth that you can actually learn from something about your life today. It's not the truth if it happens really in the same way that it's written or not. It's truth if you can actually become a better person by these verses, by this knowledge. If it can actually take you one step further in your spiritual path, this is the truth. Yeah? This is called the radical truth. And this is like more allegorical understanding of the text. Instead of thinking about the villain Duryodhana and Arjuna as external figures, we think about them as internal figures, internal personalities. Yeah? We all have inside of us the negative side, the bad side, and we all have inside of us the good point, the good part. We all have it. Philosophers were really struggling with this question for years and years and years and years. Our nature is good or our nature is bad. And we have many different opinions. The Gita is saying your nature is good and your nature is bad. You have both of them. You have both of them. And this is the war. The war is inside. The war is not outside. The war that the Gita speaks about is the war that we have inside. I want to give you an example. An example that I think all of you know, including me, so much. I want to have a cake. I really want to have a cake with an ice cream. Because it's so hot. We need a cake with an ice cream. But I also want to lose weight. I really want to lose weight. I really want to have this cake. Who will win? One example who will win. Depends when, huh? But over time, cake is strong, huh? Cake can be very strong. And what we do all the time, we have conflicts. We have parts of us that want something that is having higher value, and part of us that wants an immediate pleasure, immediate gratification. We can call it in many different names. Part of us is, in the Jewish tradition, it's called the animal soul. Animal soul, the animal-like presence within ourselves. Yeah? The body. I want to eat, I want to drink, I want to have, and it's not only physical things, it can be also mental things. I want respect, I want people to impress people, I want people to love me, to validate me. Yeah? This is all coming from the animal soul. We can also call it, in other name, the ego. Yeah? The ego. The ego wants to be the first one. The ego wants like quick solutions. The ego wants to be the dominant one, the best one out of everyone. And as we said yesterday, the ego can take two forms. It can take the forms of like I'm insecure, everyone is better than me. It's the same ego that says I'm better than everyone else. Yeah? So this is one part. And we have another part that is like actually aspiring for more than just a gratification, more than just an instant solution. And this is the divine soul. We call it the divine soul. What we mean when we say divine? Like there is a lot of misunderstanding when we say divine or we say God. What we mean about when we say that? We mean actually that there is something that is beyond the ordinary human traits. Yeah? And it's like we are not speaking about a superhuman. We are speaking about this other nature, this good point that we have within us. Like the point within us that can be grateful. Yeah? The point within us that can actually be kind to someone else. Yeah? This is very, very unusual. Like for the animal soul, it's all about me, 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 me. It's all about myself. How can I receive more? How can I get something out of it? For the divine soul, it's very interesting, and we see it also very much in parenting, is how can I take care of someone else and really let go of myself, not care about my needs. Give from my own money, from my own food, from my own needs, sacrifice everything for someone else. We have this capacity. Every one of us have this capacity. We have this within ourselves. So we have these two sides, the animal soul and the divine soul. Or we can call it in many different names. You can call it the good point. Rabbi Nachman calls it the good point. We have a good point inside of us, yeah, which is the higher self. The Buddhist or the Hindu will call it the higher self. The Buddhist, we call it the Buddha nature. Buddha nature. In the Samkhya tradition, they will call it the Purusha. Purusha, the self with the big S. Yeah? It's like this is a higher point within ourselves, and the whole journey of yoga is actually to connect to this self. And what happens, usually, naturally, it's so much easier to connect to the animal soul. So much easier. It's like we said before, so much easier to go for the cake. So much easier. So much easier to be the little person, you know? So much easier to get angry, to get really responsive, yeah? Reactive, in reactive nature. So much easier to wander with the mind, yeah? Than to be focused, so it's like the spiritual practices are difficult practices. Why? Because they are practices that don't give immediate gratification. We do them, we maybe feel even worse after doing them. Yeah? And we need to do it for a long time, repetitive, like really get over again and again and again for a long period of time to actually feel some of the progress that comes with it. So it's like kind of a no-brain when we have a cake and when we have a lettuce to choose the cake. Yeah? It's the pleasure trap, because we get right away feeling like we got right away get the feedback. But it's a short time feedback that is like pushing us up really high and then all the way down. And then we need to do it again. We need to get it again, all the way up, all the way down. This is the ups and downs of life. This is the ups and downs of the animal soul. So always doing that. Always doing that. Yeah? You know, it's like, it's all these kind of things that makes us really pitiful. Yeah? Make us really pathetic. Like, I'm speaking about myself, like not about anyone here in this room. Like, not that I ever done that, but let's say breaking up with a girlfriend through a text message. This is very pathetic, isn't it? This is the animal soul. This is the very little mind. In Hebrew we call it gadlut hamochin ve katnut hamochin. The big mind, the big brain, and the small brain. Yeah? The small brain is the animal soul. The small brain is the mental afflictions. Is operating from a space that is thinking only about oneself, not thinking about anything else. And it's very, very pathetic, very egoistic, very polluted, very polluted. Yeah? And it's always it's pulling us down. You know, we say in Kabbalah, you can either go up or you can go down. You cannot stay in the same place. You can never stay in the same place. You either go up or you go down. The animal soul pulls you down. The divine soul pulls you up. So we want to understand what is the strategy to work with the animal soul and the divine soul. Because we cannot beat the animal soul. This wouldn't work. Yeah? It wouldn't work, and we'll speak about it. It will be big part of this conversation. And this is the whole Gita. Yeah, this is the whole Gita. The whole Gita is saying, hey, you have an animal soul and you have a divine soul, or you have like the nature of laziness, of jealousy, of hatred, of anger. You have that, and you have the higher emotions like love and compassion and gratitude and acceptance and openness. You have these two sides. How to navigate between these two sides. This is the whole path of yoga, and then Krishna is offering many different ways. Yeah? It's like 4 different paths of yoga, yeah, in the Bhagavad Gita, of how to work with that, because it's not that simple. It's not that simple. It's not that we say, okay, this is bad, and we push it, we suppress it, we beat it up, and we have to win the war. It's like we have to have a strategy in order to win this war. But we want to win this war. But we want to fight. Like this is the message of the Krishna that's saying to Arjuna during the whole Gita, fight. The first reaction in the 2nd chapter, the first reaction that Krishna is saying to Arjuna, what's going on with you? What's going on? It's not like you to behave like that. Get up and fight. What's going on? Yeah? Fight. This is the most important thing. And like this is what we say also for the spiritual path. Because like if we want to go on the spiritual path, we have to fight. We cannot surrender to the animal soul. Because we will end up as a couch potato. We really do. The losing weight can come from the animal soul as well. I want to look good. It's like it's not for health reason. It's just for impressing someone else. It's just to like being in this space, and then it comes from the animal soul. Yes, it's an example. It's not a perfect example, and obviously there is like a bad way to do a good thing. Yeah, it's like I push myself in yoga to do everyday yoga, and I push myself so hard that I break my muscle, break myself so much. So it's a good thing, but I'm doing it in a bad way. So it's like it's all mixing up. This is the thing that is like so difficult in the spiritual path, is to find the middle point. To find the middle point, like Arjuna asked in the beginning, like to go into the middle point. To see how I can navigate between this good within the bad and the bad within the good, and like find the way to make it a spiritual path, like a middle path. Yeah, we see it also in Buddhism and in Hinduism as well. Yeah, so we'll get to it. You are completely right. So we have the like just one more way to say the divine soul and the animal soul that I think really makes sense. There are 5 mental afflictions in Buddhism. 5 mental afflictions. What are the mental afflictions? The first one is craving or attachment. Yeah. The second one is hatred or anger. Yeah. The third one is laziness or heaviness. And the fourth one is restlessness or anxiety. And the fifth one is doubt. 5 mental afflictions. There are meditations that you can actually emphasize and understand, like, oh, pay attention. Like we had yesterday, remember we have 4 pillars of mindfulness. So we have the mindfulness of the breathing, mindfulness of sensation, mindfulness of the mind, and mindfulness of the Dharma. Mindfulness of the mind is actually being aware of the mental afflictions, because they are the mind phenomena. Yeah? Did you get the 5 mental afflictions? Let's go over them again. The first one is craving and attachment. Craving and attachment. The second one, hatred and anger. Third one, laziness, heaviness, lethargy. Fourth one is restlessness, anxiety. Fifth one is doubt. So we can actually recognize when we do a mindfulness training, one of the training is to actually be aware of the mental afflictions. Yeah? So to know, okay, what's going on right now? Which mental affliction is going on right now? And you will be amazed. Each and every moment of the meditation, there is a mental affliction going on. each and every moment, almost of the day, there is a mental affliction going on. Yeah? It's like I close my eyes, I try to concentrate, I think about dinner, craving. Yeah? And then I start like thinking about this crazy teacher that gives all this instruction in the yoga class, and I have anger. Yeah? And then I go from there and it's like it's enough for today. Maybe I lie down, maybe I rest, maybe I just like let go for today. Laziness. Yeah? And then after that we start like, actually it's like I feel like a bit anxious now. What will happen next? What's going on? What will be in the future? What will be in the next class? What will be after the yoga teacher training? Yeah, restlessness, anxiety. And then like, am I on the right place? Oh, should I actually come here? Like be here? Maybe it's like it's not good for me, this teacher training. Maybe I should go and have something else. Another teacher training with another teacher. Yeah? It's like doubt. It's like we'll always be in one of these mental afflictions. So in meditation, one of the things is actually to realize, okay, I have one of these mental afflictions. Shanti Deva in the Way of Bodhisattva, I'm mentioning many books. Like in the end of your booklet, you'll find a lot of references for these books as well. And if like I forgot to put some of these books, we can go over that later. More books. It's a really good book, The Way of Bodhisattva. The Dalai Lama also translated. Bhagavad Gita is Hindu. Yeah, but we have to understand that the Hindu and the Buddhism, the Buddha was a Hindu. The Buddha was a yogi. He was practicing yoga. Yeah. The Buddha was a yogi. He was coming in the Hindu tradition. The yoga was very much already there, and then he kind of took it to a bit of a different path. But we call them, in the comparative religion world, we call them sisters. Yoga and Buddhism are sisters. They are nourishing each other. They are debating with each other. They have some dialogue throughout all the years. Yeah. So the Way of Bodhisattva is a book that speaks about the way of how to be enlightened, like how enlightened people behave. And Shanti Deva is the saint that is writing this book. He's saying, when you have a mental affliction, freeze. Don't operate from your mental affliction. Nothing good will get out of it. Nothing good will get out of your anger. Nothing good will get out of your... Don't operate. When you have a discussion with your partner or with your mother and you're really angry, don't operate. Don't say anything. Just freeze. He says, be like a log of wood. Just freeze. Like count until 10. Relax. Breathe. Why? Because when we have mental affliction, we don't have the mind. The mind is going out of the window. The mental afflictions takes the whole space. And there is a sentence in Kabbalah saying, me and you cannot live in the same apartment. We cannot coexist. It's like God is saying to the ego, hey, when you are here, I'm not here. Yeah? It's like when the ego gets inside, when the anger gets inside, when the anxiety gets inside, there is no wisdom. There is no gratitude. Yeah? There is no love. Yeah? It's either or. Yeah? So we can also understand the animal side as the mental affliction. And we can also understand the divine side as the four immeasurable. Four immeasurable. This talk is very dense. There is so many things. We are going to break it down throughout the month. Yeah? So there will be a specific talk about the mental affliction. There will be a specific talk about the four immeasurable. We'll speak about all of these things more in depth. We just want to kind of see the picture of the spiritual path. So the four immeasurables, yeah? Four immeasurables are, the first one is called loving kindness. Loving kindness. Immeasurable. Like you cannot measure it. Yeah, immeasurable. So the first one is called loving kindness. The second one is called compassion. Loving kindness is something that is coming from the Buddha nature, from the divine soul. It's not coming from the mental afflictions. It's coming from really thinking about someone else. By the way, love is not something that we know from the Hollywoodic movies. Yeah? Yeah, on the Hollywoodic movies, we see this girl, beautiful girl, this guy, Richard Gere, beautiful woman, beautiful man. They see each other, they like each other, they're happy, they're loving. Wow, really nice. No, it's not. This is not love. Loving kindness is action. It's an action. You see for a moment, like I want to expand on that. I love a banana. I love Pazit. Yeah? Same words. Yeah? It actually can be the same. If I eat a banana and I say I love a banana, what do I love about a banana? Yeah, the feeling. So what do I love? The taste of the banana and how the banana makes me feel, so I love myself. I don't love the banana. I love myself. Still very narcissistic. This is the animal soul. Maybe I love Pazit. I'm not loving Pazit in this way, but if I love Pazit like I love a banana, I just love how Pazit makes me feel. Oh, I love that she is so beautiful. I love that she's like so like having this and these traits. Yeah, and how she makes me feel. Then I don't love her. I love how she makes me feel. It's like all about me. Love, in the Buddhist sense, it's not a romantic love. It's a love when you have care for someone else. You actually care for someone else. Yeah? So we have these two natures. Yeah. So we have the nature of the nature of the animal, and the nature of the Buddha, or nature of the divine. The nature of the animal is not taking care of anyone else. Maybe also only to your offsprings, to your children. It's like part of the biology. It's like not even for all the species. But like you won't see a lion that take care of all the other lions. Yeah? Just like really making like a charity, donations for all the lions and raise up the consciousness of all the lions. Yeah.
But maybe the lion might care for someone, right?
Yes, but from self-interest. Yeah, from conditioning, not from like getting out of the I want for myself kind of nature. Yeah, it's all part of I want it for myself. Yeah, we see like for example for a dog. Yeah, dog, very loyal animal. Why? Because we tame it. Yeah, we give it food. Yeah? If we don't give it food, it don't take care of us. What it wants the food. So we can train it to love us. But it's not coming from like a deeper consciousness within the dog. Yeah? We as human, we have a higher consciousness, higher level. And it's like, as I said it yesterday as well, it's really interesting to see. There is no other species that can destroy the whole world. And there is no other species that can uplift the world and bring the world into a better place. It's not coming from patronizing. It's coming from the awareness, oh, we have a precious opportunity. We have a deeper potential. Yeah? We have a deeper potential, both for the worst and for the better as well. So we have a deeper potential to do something very valuable in this lifetime. We can do more than what a mosquito would do or a dog would do. Yeah, we can do more than that. We can actually benefit others. We can actually benefit the human project. Yeah? So we want to recognize that. We want to attach to it. We want to really get into it. This is the whole spiritual journey. This is the war. Yeah? The war is to get into our nature of the Buddha, the nature of loving kindness, the nature of compassion. Yeah? It's like really having compassion for someone else, for see someone else in trouble and helping them, to feel their pain and to help them, to lift them up. We don't have to. We don't have to. Yeah? But we want to. It's like we have it in us. It's inside of us. Yeah? The third one, the third immeasurable, the first one was loving kindness, the second one was compassion, the third one is called empathetic joy. This I find in myself the most difficult thing on earth. Empathetic joy means to be happy for someone else's happiness. So let's say someone in my position, a yoga teacher, and and this person have a very successful yoga center here in Copenhagen. Can I be really happy for this person? Yeah? If I can, this is empathetic joy. This is the nature of the Buddha. It's a high standard. It's like actually be happy for people's happiness. Yeah? And it's like, by the way, all of this is also for ourselves. Loving kindness, it's part of the path that we are speaking about, like of how to navigate between the negative and the positive, is to apply the four immeasurable to ourselves as well. So when I'm being loving and being kind to myself, yeah, it's part of the deal. Yeah, I don't want to crush the animal soul. I wouldn't be able to. Yeah. Do you remember the story, the detox story? My detox story? In the detox story, one day I decided to do 7-day detox in Bangkok. Very stupid idea. Very stupid idea. Seriously, see, like it was mixed a bit. It wasn't like pure good. It was like also from like kind of obsessiveness. And I decided to do this detox and to push like all my craving, push it. I'm not going to eat. I love Thai food. I really love Thai food. I was like on Rambutri Street, like in Kawasan area, like where all these like smells and all these like beautiful smells and amazing food, all about like pleasure in this place. And I'm doing detox. I'm not eating anything. I decided to do it for 7 days. After the 6th day, before finishing, like in the middle of the night, I said, I cannot do that anymore. I cannot do that anymore. I just break the door of the guest house and like go down and like, oh, boof, 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 everything. I ate things that I haven't ate for years, like really bad things. Disgusting, but like I had to like feel this craving. Binge, exactly. And this is what Rabbi Nachman also said. You push your nature, your animal soul, you push it too much, it's like a jack in the box. You push. When you will be weak, it will come up. It will jump on your face. Yeah? It will take over. This is how the animal soul works. So we want loving kindness. We don't want to push it. It's like this is not going to work. We want to have a strategy. We want to have like a negotiation with this part of ourselves. So the third one, empathetic joy. We want to also have compassion to ourselves, and we want to also have empathetic joy to ourselves. Can I be happy for being happy? Yesterday we spoke about the second arrow. When we are angry at ourselves being angry. Why can't we be happy when we are happy? Celebrate happiness. Because when we celebrate happiness, it will bring more happiness. Yeah? And it will bring more value. Ellen Wallace is giving this link between happiness and value. When we are happy, it's because we have value, meaning, something good. Yeah? Something good in nature. Yeah? So when we are happy, real happy, I'm not speaking about instant gratification. I'm not speaking about happiness that comes from a cake. This is This is like pleasure. This is like a really important thing. But it's pleasure, it's not happiness. Happiness is when it's like long lasting. It's when we do something really good, or when we experience something really good. Then we experience goodness, we experience happiness. Then we need to celebrate that. We need to be happy about it. Yeah? But also for other people, for ourselves and for other people. The last one is called impartiality. Impartiality. I give this translation instead of equanimity. You will find mostly equanimity in the translation, but I like it less, because equanimity is like, oh, I don't care. It's like kind of an indifferent. I don't care if it's like that or like that, if it's good or bad. No, impartiality means caring for everyone. Caring for everyone. Can I care for everyone? Not just for myself. I want to add two more qualities to this nature, Buddha nature. Gratitude. Gratitude is another nature of the Buddha nature. It's like being happy with what we have, being grateful with this opportunity of being a human being, being grateful for being able to be here in Kopangan. It's like we cannot take it for granted. Being grateful that we are exposed to the spiritual path. That like there are millions of people, billions of people that are not exposed to the spiritual path. There are billions of people that are under poverty. Yeah? They don't even have the option to be like to study, even not a spiritual study, just to study. Yeah? And not like being like happy that they don't have it and we have it, but taking the opportunity of having this and not waste it. Think about someone that don't have this experience, don't have this privilege, and they watch us wasting our privilege. There is so much talk about privilege. The privilege that we have, we need to take care of it. We need to actually use it to do good in the world. Yeah? Not to waste it. It's really important. Gratitude. The sixth one is called faith.
Faith.
Faith, like a belief. Yeah? Trust. Trust is also a good word. What is the faith? According to this, it's not a blind faith. It's not a blind faith. It's a faith in ourselves, in our own Buddha nature. Because some days we might be so attached to the animal soul, we might be so attached to the mental afflictions that we don't even see that we have a Buddha nature. So we have to keep the faith that we are having it. Yeah? It's like it's coming up for me like one of the blessings in the Jewish tradition. When you wake up in the morning, you say, מודה אני לפניך מלך חי וקיים שהחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך. רבה אמונתך means like your faith in me is bigger than my faith in myself. He says, God, if you gave my soul back to me, it means that I'm needed in this world. You know how when we wake up in the morning and we think like, oh, it's like another day. I don't want to get up. It's another day. It's like, what can I actually do good in this world? Yeah? It's like we are disencouraged or demotivated or lazy or insecure about ourselves. And they say in Judaism, the fact that you woke up means that you are needed in this universe. That the universe cannot exist without you. You are needed here. And how do you know that? Because you woke up. The universe gives in you faith. The faith of the universe in you is big. This is the reason you are here. When you're not needed anymore, you will not be here anymore. This is the faith. This is faith. Yeah? Faith in ourselves, knowing that we are important. We are very important. It's like the fact like that we want to be humble. Humility doesn't mean insecurity. Humility doesn't mean nihilism, that there is no meaning. who we are. Humility is about knowing that I'm very important and that I need to take care of it. I need to do something about it. Yeah? So this is the two sides. Yeah? We have like a clear map, clear description of what is the animal soul, what is the divine soul. Two sides. I want to give one more, and then the strategy. The divine soul wants to give abundance. There is a verb in Hebrew that says lashpia. Lashpia comes from the word shefa. Shefa means abundance. So if we would want to invent a word in English that says abandancing, you understand what I mean? Like making a verb out of abundance. Yeah? So it would be abandancing or something like that. You can't say it because it's not a real word, but you know what I mean? It's like giving abundance, like being an abundant source of this universe. This is the divine soul. The animal soul is the one the desire to receive. The desire to receive. I want for myself. For me. Desire to receive. Now, we cannot, as we said many times already, we cannot take one out, completely out, and just the other one in. We have to have a strategy. So we have to embrace both of them. We cannot get rid of one of them. We cannot get rid of the animal soul. We cannot have just the divine soul. This is something that is like many times mistaken in spirituality. It's also the fact that it's a war. The war is how to negotiate between these two sides, not how to get rid of one of these sides. Okay, so we cannot eliminate completely the desire to receive, and we cannot be only in the desire to give abundance. I want to mention 4 different ways of desires, of the will. And I know there are many lists, and we go into this list much deeper later on. Last list for today. Desire to receive. When I say desire, is a longing, a wanting. Yeah? Desire. In Hebrew, it's much easier because it's ratzon. 4 desires. The desire to receive in order to receive. I want to receive for me, just because I want to receive. I want to eat this cake because I want to feel happy about this cake and I want to enjoy myself. Don't care about anything else. The desire to receive in order to receive. Second one, and we will get deeper into this one in a few moments, is called the desire to receive in order to give abundance. Which I can tell you already from now, this is the solution. This is the solution, this is the spiritual path, this is the middle way. The desire to receive in order to give abundance. The third one is the desire to give abundance, to give in order to receive. For example, I am nice to Maria just because I want something out of it. Yeah? I'm not nice to someone just because I want something from this person. I'm not nice because I really want for the benefit of this person. I just want to get something out of it.
Isn't that manipulation?
Manipulation, exactly.
But
Manipulation.
well,
Yeah?
What if what you want is like a good time, just have a good relationship? Is that
it's a
Yeah.
fun response.
No, this is great. You want to have a good time, but you have to want to have a good time also for them. Yeah. So if you want to have a good time just for you, yeah, and it's like you manipulate in order to get that, you don't care about the other person. This is the desire to receive. It's not the desire to give. But if like, oh, let's have a good time together, this is the desire to share, desire to give. Yeah, yeah. The last one is called the desire to give in order to give. This is very, very saintly. Yeah, it's very saintly. It doesn't take much account of the animal soul, isn't it? Yeah, it's like it's not sustainable. Maybe some people can do that, you know. Maybe some people can do that. And Mother Teresa, yeah. I don't know, other figures that like, they do everything out of service, they don't care about themselves at all, they just share and give. Most of us are not there yet. Maybe it's an aspiration, yes, but most of us are not there. And also it's not it's not sustainable for the animal soul. You need to completely take your ego out of the equation. I had a teacher, a mentor, a really powerful Buddhist teacher that was saying, he was advising me. So he's still 75 years old, something like that. And he told me, you still have an ego of a 40 years old person. Yeah? And it's like, he said, I am, like he spoke about himself, I am past the hero stage. Yeah? It's like, we need like the ego to serve us in different phases of life. We need to want for ourselves. It's important. We cannot eliminate it completely. We are not already 70, conquer all, like already accomplished. Yeah? Especially when we are young, we need to actually have a desire, and this desire can bring us into a state where we are giving abundance to others. Yeah? We just need to be really careful that it's not just the desire in order to have a desire for ourselves, not the desire to receive in order to receive. Because if it's only about my career and my success, it's like it's the desire to receive in order to receive.
But it could also be to abandon yourself.
Yes, but then it's just staying yourself. Yeah? It has to have the leap out, like the leak to get like out of our own bubble and to connect to others. So, let's speak a little bit about the second one, because it's the most important one. The desire to receive in order to give abundance to others. This can become our guide, our navigator in life. And it's like, I think it's addressing what you are bringing up before, and others as well. We want to actually be able to give, be able to receive, but then to share it. Yeah? It's like, instead of just receiving for myself, I actually receive because I know that I can actually influence and be an impact on others by receiving this thing. Yeah? It's like a teacher training course. I want to study yoga, but I don't want to study just for myself. I want to study because I can actually show someone else as well. Even if it's not students, just relatives or family or someone or some friends. I study that not just for me. I study that because it will be useful for me and for others. I receive, I invest in myself, I study, I receive. It's about receiving, but this receiving is turning into giving. It's like, this is the only way. Really, it's the only way, because if we receive only, we cannot keep it. What happens is, like, we'll not get into this discussion now, because it's a long discussion, it's another hour. But what happens if we only receive, we break the vessel. We break our own vessel. It's like inhalation, and I want to keep it. I don't want to give my inhalation. It's like I inhale, no exhale. Yeah? Good luck with that. Yeah? Yeah? It's like this is like receiving without giving. Yeah? It's like what will happen? The vessel will break. Instead, I receive, I give. What happens when I give?
It's helpful for everyone.
It's helpful for everyone. What happens inside?
There's more space.
More space. I can get more. So if I want to receive more, I need to give more. If I give what I receive, I have more space to receive. Yeah? And another thing, it makes me happy. When I receive to receive, I'm not happy. I want to challenge you with this one. Please check it out today. When I receive in order to receive, I'm not happy. I maybe have pleasure, I maybe have like a nice feeling for a moment or two, but I'm not happy. Yeah? I'm just increasing my mental afflictions. I'm just increasing the 5 mental afflictions. When I receive and I give, I'm so happy. I made someone else happy. I actually made someone else happy. Look at this. This is like amazing thing to have. Like instead of thinking how I can make myself happy and everyone else miserable, or making myself happy and not thinking about anyone else, I think about everyone else and I don't think about myself. Yeah? And by doing that, I receive the most. I receive the most. And years I wanted to look as good as a teacher. I did that. Like, oh, give me validation. Please, student, tell me that the class was good enough. Waiting after the class, will someone say something? Or will everyone leave without looking at me? How can I interpret their face? Is it good class or bad class? Was it good cues or not good cues? Did I push too much or not? Yeah? What about me? It's so narcissistic. We are so narcissistic. Yeah? So you need to overcome this nature. This is why it's a war. You need to fight this nature. Right. So you get the satisfaction, you get the happiness only if you really help someone else. Yeah?
And that's okay to have?
This is the purpose of creation.
Okay.
It's the purpose of creation. This is real joy. This is real light. Drawing light into our system is by giving to others, but when we give it to others, it goes through us. So it means that we receive it. Yeah? And it's like, this is kosher, perfectly kosher. Yeah? So we give in order to make other people happy. We clear more space, we get more. The analogy in Kabbalah that they are saying, you have a cup. If you are in the receiving, in order to receive, you have a cup. You get some water inside the cup, inside the vessel, and that's it. We are limited. Even if the cup will be as big as the room, it's still limited. You can get some, and then it will get stale there. It will get undrinkable. It will break the vessel. It will not make the vessel really a good vessel. But instead of a cup, we have a tube. A tube can contain infinite amount of water in time. Not limited at all. Can get infinite. And this is the purpose of creation. I'm sorry we don't have much more time to speak about that, but the purpose is to receive. The universe is all about giving. We want to match the universe. We want to have the same attitude as the universe. The universe is the Buddha nature. Yeah? So we want to be like the universe. We want to be giving like the universe. When we're matching ourselves with the universe, we become a vessel. We become a tube. The universe can go through us and out of us. Yeah? With no interruption. So think about that. How can I make my motivation of receiving things in order to give it? Even to eat. I can eat only for my own pleasure, and there is nothing wrong with the pleasure, but I can eat and I get the pleasure in order to be strong and to be a better person. Like when I eat and I enjoy from the food, I can actually be a better person. I can do more kind actions. Same eating, same cake. Now it's kosher. Now there is no problem to eat this cake. I eat this cake to enjoy, to feel more rejuvenated, to feel more strong, to be able to face my next situation in a better way. Then the motivation is changing, the action is changing, the results are changing. Everything is changing. Yeah? Maybe last thing. Is it too much already, or we can go for 5 more minutes? Last thing. The Ari Kadosh is saying, we have to see, we have to imagine. We have to imagine every moment in our life. We have to imagine that we have a scale. I have a scale. The scale have good deeds, bad deeds. Good actions, bad actions. We have to imagine that on this scale there are sesame seeds. Each sesame seed represents the good action and the bad action. Yeah? And the scale are even. The actions of the whole world, I mean. Action of all people in the world. We have it on the scale and we see it. It's like that. It's exactly even. Half of the action of the whole world is good. Half of the action of the whole world is bad. We don't know if the world is good or bad. It's even. 50-50. What will make the scale tip down to this side or this side? The Kabbalists say, your next action. But no pressure. Your next action will determine if this word is a good word or a bad word. Your next sesame seed, your next choice, your next motivation will be determining if the word is a good word or a bad word. Yeah? It's like, it's so powerful to think like that, to meditate like that. This is the war. It's the moment of choice. I see it in front of my eyes. I can do something good now or I can do something bad now. It's up to me. Yeah? If the world is a good place or a bad place. Really thinking in these matters. And we are not speaking about Mother Teresa. We are not speaking about like a huge tahini ball that made of sesame. We are speaking about one sesame seed. When I go in the street and I see someone and I maybe never see this person in my life again, do I smile to this person or I'm grumpy to this person? Yeah? I have a lifetime opportunity with this person. Never see this person again. How do I choose to be? On the good side or on the bad side? Yeah? What do I choose to do with this cake? Only for my pleasure or to get power in order to do something good after? Yeah? Everything, every little action that I do, like can be a good on the good side. And this actually can make the world a better place. It can. It can. Because what is the world? The world is our perception of the world. Yeah? It's like in Kabbalah they say a human being is the whole world. And they literally mean that. Because the whole world is my own perception. If I am always tipping on the good side, the world will be a better place because my perception of the world will be a better place. Of the world to be a better place. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. This is why we have the scriptures. So the scriptures, that's like thousands and thousands of years of experience, of human experience, that really give us like the Way of Bodhisattva and the Yoga Sutras and the different Kabbalist texts and the Fathers of the Desert, like a Christian mystic text. Like they give us like the values. They really give us like a more divine or more higher level of consciousness rules of what is good and bad.